Here's a story about the Lubavitcher Rebbe, very interesting, and a Rabbi Katz. A Rabbi Katz, I don't think that he's alive anymore. Please excuse me if I'm wrong, but anyway, he was a rabbi in South Africa. South Africa. This story must have happened 50 years ago. Rabbi in South Africa. And he was also a rabbi. He would visit the prisoners, Jewish prisoners that were in the South African jails. So one day, it was just a day or two before Hanukkah. And so he was by the Rebbe, visiting the Rebbe, and the Rebbe called him in to his office and said that I understand that in the jails in South Africa, that they're very accommodating to different religions. Yes, that's true. That's why I'm there. He said, well, but I understand that they have not yet given permission to the Jewish prisoners to light Hanukkah candles. So he said, yes, that's right. There's a lot of security measures and et cetera, et cetera. So the Rebbe said, well, I think that you should call the chief of the prisons over there, and you should ask him for permission. So the Rebbe said, so he said, but it's just like a day before Hanukkah. It's really not that much time. I'll talk to him, tomorrow, and we'll see. We'll try to arrange something for next year. So the Rebbe said, no. You have to do it right now. So I said, but right now, it happened when he was speaking to the Rebbe. It was late at night. So the Rebbe, he said it's very late, and he's a big general. He was a big general in the army, and he's a very, how do you say, orderly man, and also a very, how do you say, a powerful, strong-minded man. I don't want to get on the wrong side of him. I don't want to get mad. So the Rebbe said, you don't have to worry that when you call him up, he'll see how important it is. And somehow or other, by the time he got around to calling him, got later and later. It was late at night. And nevertheless, he heard what the Rebbe said. And so he called up the the rabbi. He called up this general that was the head of all of the prisons. He was like, and his wife answered the phone. And he said, is your husband still awake? I would like to know he's asleep. I would like to speak to him. Who's the Rabbi Katz? So she says, just 1 minute. So he calls her husband. He says, yes. So listen, I'm sorry I woke you up. So, well, it must be pretty important. You're calling me from New York. It must be pretty important. So what would you like to say? So he said, well, in a couple of days, it's going to be Hanukkah. And I don't know if he said in the name of the Rebbe. It could be that he said in the name of the Lubavitcher Rebbe. Yes, he did. And I'm by the Lubavitcher Rebbe. The Lubavitcher Rebbe said that I should call you up and ask you if we could have permission that the prisoners, Jewish prisoners, could light Hanukkah candles. So he says, if the Lubavitcher Rebbe, I understand that he's a great man. I heard about it. There's Chabad in South Africa, and he was, knowledgeable of what I've heard about him. If he, in the middle of the night, takes up his time to worry about the prisoners in South Africa, Jewish prisoners in South Africa, so it must be pretty important. So you know what? It'll be done. I'll arrange it. I'll arrange how it's going to be done. Maybe they had to do it in a special place, but I'll arrange it. It'll be done. And thank you very much. And tell your rabbi that, thank you very much for thinking about, his people. And it's a good lesson. We should care for each other. And anyway, so he said, okay. So Rabbi Katz, the Rebbe said, report to me in the morning. So we reported to him in the morning. And he said, no, what happened? So he said, well, I called him up. And he agreed. He agreed. So the Rebbe said, very good. Now, I want you to call up the head of the prison in New York, city of New York, in the prisons, and ask him for the same thing. So I said, but Rebbe, it's like 5 in the morning, whatever, 6 in the morning. I think he called up the Rebbe. He said it's 5 in the morning. It's really early. He's going to get mad. I said, no, don't worry about it. I said, call him up and tell him that just now the head of the prisons in South Africa agreed to let the prisoners light. And you can also tell him that you happen to know that all of the other states in America allow Jewish prisoners to light candles, except for New York. Tell him that. So he said, okay. So he called up the head of the jails, the prison system in New York. Maybe it's just the city of New York. I don't know. Maybe it's all the state of New York. And he said, oh no. So he said, I'm sorry. I said, so Rabbi Katz said, listen, in South Africa, I know people. I'm a rabbi there. I'm a long time. And also I work in the jail. So, I know a lot of people, but here I don't know anybody. I'm in New York. I don't know anyone in New York. So the Rebbe said, you call J.J. Hecht. And J.J. Hecht, Yosef Yitzchak, he knows everybody. The Rebbe said, he knows everybody. And he'll get it done for you. Do it right now. So we went, this is like a day before Hanukkah, maybe even the nighttime, that night. So he went to J.J. Hecht. And sure enough, he made a few phone calls. And there was on the phone, the head of the jail system in New York. And he said, hello there, the governor, whatever his name was. Bob, how are you? How's the wife? How's the kids? J.J. Hecht knew everybody, and he's very friendly, and everybody liked him. How's the wife? How's the kids? Listen, I got a big rabbi over here from South Africa to talk to you. Talk to him for a second. I said, okay, talk to him. Listen, I'm a big rabbi for the jail in the jails in South Africa. They just agreed to let all the Jews, and I understand that in New York they don't let the Jews. What do you say if they do it? He said, well, if they did it in South Africa. And you sure they did? Yeah, it's 100%. Well, I guess, I can't be any less than them. South Africa, there's, okay, I'll do it. So he did it. So he agreed. So the Rebbe arranged the whole thing that the one in South Africa would agree. And because the one in South Africa agreed, so he would agree. So the Rebbe said to this Rebbe, the Rebbe Katz came in, and he was very happy. And the Rebbe was very happy, very pleased. And the Rebbe said, tell the general, in South Africa, that I really appreciate it, and I'm sending him a gift. And he sent two books. One book, I think in English, one book for him and one book for his wife. He says, this is for his wife. I think the Rebbe even signed it. So give this to them. So he came to South Africa. When he got to South Africa, so he called up this general that's in this. He says, listen, I'm just back. I really appreciate you doing it. And the Lubavitcher Rebbe really appreciates it. And he wants to give you a gift, and I'll come over. Just tell me when to come over. He said, no way. He said, what's your address? He said, my address. He said, my address is like this, but I'll come over to you. He said, I'll be over in an hour. He came over in an hour to the rabbi's house. And he said, he said, listen, if there's a rabbi in America and he is enough of a human being that he worries about his people in South Africa, said, this is a type of a person that I want to, if he sent me a gift. He said, I don't want it to delay even one moment. As soon as I can possibly get my hands on it, I want to. So we see the importance of being kind and doing kind deeds for others, that other people really genuinely appreciate this, and it changes the world. And that's what's going to change the world to bring Mashiach, because everybody wants kindness. And the one that wants kindness more than anybody else is God. Wants all of his creations to get along with one another. So one more act of kindness can tilt the scales and bring Mashiach now and illuminate the whole world like Hanukkah candles do, but this time it'll be from the third temple with all the Jews together in the land of Israel, and the world will be a happy, productive, blessed, meaningful, dynamic place, and everyone will be happy to see another human being, because each one is a unique creation of the Creator. Have a good day with Mashiach now.